Hello, just going to give you a quick run through of what you could possibly do, the way you can lay out your pages and how to sort of set up the basics for it as simply as possible. What I'm going to do is show you what we've done in geography, and I think it's really important before you start all of this is discuss together what you want the layout of your pages to actually look like. It's then very easy to get that layout and then copy and paste it across. So if we have a look at what we've done for our GCSE folders, so we can see very easily we've split it up into all of the main topics. So we'll just have a look at weather and climate for this one. And you can see we've got the breakdown of the main topics, and then we've got a separate assessment folder. So if we click into this, what we can see is that we've got a number of different assessment styles. So we've got key terms tests, we've got exam questions, we've got a walking, talking mock video link, and we've also got knowledge tests on there as well. So let me show you how to set this up first of all. So if I just go back into the year 10 and the start of the folder. So if we click into here, then what I can do is I can just create a folder or a page. And as I go in, what I want to be doing is using the class test template. Now this will give you a template. It can just like a normal one, but it does give you the option of putting quizzes and questions in there at any time. So it's always a good standard one to have. So if we click done and just give this a title, English practice, and you can all laugh at me as I get the spelling wrong. So I'm going to go for that one because I don't know that one. So that sets up the page first of all. Now, if we just publish that, keep it nice and simple, what I want to then start to do is add in the different elements of assessment that we're going to do. So while I'm on this page here, I'm just going to click create. We're going to call this terms test. And remember, the template that we need is a class test. Do that, and then that is done. It says taking its time. We publish that one, and then we go back to the main page that you want this all in. We can set that up, and we can again, let's have exam cues, and again, we set this up as a class test document, and we do that. So I've now repeated that a number of times just to save time on the video. And you can now see that in here we've got these four. So we've got exam questions, explain, 4 markers, key terms test, multiple choice. Now, what I can do with that is we can turn this into a landing page for all of those. So while we're on the English practice page, if we go into edit page and we simply click onto the more button and choose navigation. So it's the nav button there. As soon as I do that, it just tells you choose a style, images, patterns, and you can add these all in. Go to the end, click done, and that very simply gives you a nice page like that to land on, so you can see where all of those are. Now what you can also do is you might want this, and this is probably the best way to do it, is this is just for staff. So in edit page, instead of clicking on done, you look for the little arrow up here, and you can see you've got the visibility. So if you just go into the visibility and you can choose who can do what. So you might want this just to be seen by staff, and you can choose the settings there. So that means then that you've got all of this that staff can be working on. So now we can copy and paste this layout for your assessment into any of the different other areas that you want to go in. And to do this is quite simple. Down here at edit page, what we do, instead of pressing edit page, we look at the page options and we choose the import export. So we can do that, and then we simply go to export Firefly pages. As it does this, it will then click on there, click a name for it, what you want to call it, this page and all the child pages, so all the pages below it here, and then you just simply click export. Now, it takes a little bit of time, sort of 30 seconds or so, but then when you've done that, you will find that in your downloads folder. So what you can then do is if you go back into where you want it to appear, so let's put it in here, back at the geography one, we click on this bottom right again, we click on import export again, but this time we go for import Firefly pages. Then we can simply choose the file from our downloads folder, which I've already got lined up. I click on English Practice and we import it. Now that was done. So as we look at this, we can now see we've got an absolute replica of it. So if we click on that, it's the same. But what we'll do, just in case, because I probably have got it wrong, we'll edit page and then I'll do that. So I'm covering both options. There you go. How's that? So that's very simply how you can copy and paste the different pages around and make sure that it's nice and similar, so you've got that consistency for the students, they know what they're looking at. So it may be that you don't like the layout of the order of this, so it's very easy to change. So you might think, well, the multiple choice is the easiest, I want that to go to the front. So you can click on the multiple choice page. So I'll just go into that very quickly. So if we click onto the multiple choice page, we go on to edit page. And then again up here, we click on the little arrow by the side of it and we click location. That now means we can pick the multiple choice and we can just move it to the start here. There we go. Now don't worry, because what can sometimes happen is you can move it to the wrong thing, but you just have to remember where it is and then you can pick it out. So if I put it into this one by mistake, but then you can see that I've got two English practices there, so I can bring this one back out and put it to the start there, he says, hopefully. There we go. So that's a simple way of rearranging them and getting them all into order for you. Now what you can then do in each of these pages is you can set them up as you want, and there's a couple of other videos to show you how to do the multiple choice or line text questions, and I'll do another one on the feedback of them as well. So this one is really just about setting up your pages. So if we click on the multiple choice one, for example, so how can we put information in? Well, if we click on edit page, we can quite simply either, so let's just say we go into a PDF, we can just copy and paste the text straight into it. So as we do that, paste it in, and there we go. Now it may be that it's a file or a document. So you can quite simply go into your folders and let's have a look here. If we go into here and we just think we want this fact file, and we can just drag and drop that in. So what that then does is it drops the whole of the folder in there like that, so it's very easy to see. Or you can use these different links here. So if we click on here, you've got a file list, which just brings it like a list instead of seeing the whole thing. It might be that you want to put a YouTube video link in, so you copy the HTML URL code in there. It could be web pages and things like that as well. The other thing that you can do if you've got snipping tool, so for example, you might want a resource like this. So snipping tool, if you have it, is you can very simply just highlight the area that you want, and then you paste that into the area that you want as well. So now you can see we've got the map, and then if you want to ask a question about this, you simply click on the question tab. You then write in the question, choose what it wants to be, and as I said, I've done another video on this that talks you through how to set up these key different things. Okay, so we close that down because we don't want anything in it. We click done, and then there you have all of your pages done. So they're all set up and you can arrange them and move them as you want. So I hope you found that useful. Thank you very much and see you again soon.